Hey church, Pastor Chris here, and I just want to say first and foremost, I love you and I miss you. And then I want to say on behalf of the elders, thank you. Thank you for your patience and your grace and your kindness as we've tried to navigate these waters in the season of COVID-19 and the pandemic. And man, there's just so many things to consider in this. But we feel that, and really have prayed and sought the Lord on this, that we should continue to move forward with our plans to re-enter into life together as a community. And so we're just going to take another step. It's not into the full expression of our corporate body, but it's the next step. I back in May shared 3 phases that we were going to enter into, and that we were going to just encourage you guys to gather together with whoever you felt comfortable with in phase 1 and phase 2, maybe a few more people, a slightly bigger group. And phase 3 is our house church movement, or a house church season of life together. And what that is, and this is what I'm going to share with you and what I'm excited about, is really the Rock Community Church being one church in 4 locations. We've been so blessed by 4 homes who have said, yes, we want people to gather in our home for worship. We're excited about that. And so we are going to move towards gathering in those places beginning July 5th through the end of August. It's only a couple months by God's grace that we will be doing this, and then hopefully the Lord will provide a location for us beyond that where we can gather corporately in some fashion. Side note, please be praying for that. Please be praying for a location. If you have information to share with me, please send information my way so I can explore that, or have somebody explore that opportunity to see if that may be where God has us gather corporately in the future. But back to phase 3, we are going to gather as one church in 4 locations in these various homes. So what you should expect first is an invitation from the leader of each, or from the location where we have assigned you. We are needing to respect our host home's capacity, and then we also have ministry needs that need to be met, and then we also want to again minimize the total interaction of our corporate body. And so we're going to have a leader of a location reach out to you, invite you to that location. That means that it's not a pick your location kind of opportunity. And so that's the location we're going to ask you to gather in for the month of July, the month of August, that you would worship there, that would be the place and the people that you do life with at that point for this season, this hopefully short season. So somebody should be reaching out to you. A leader will be reaching out to you to invite you to that location. In addition, we are going to have different team leads reaching out to various people to serve in various capacities, because we're going to not only get together to worship, but there's going to be a time of fellowship, there's going to be a time of worship, there's going to be children's ministry, and even elements of our community group that are going to be all kind of engrafted into this time together. Super excited. Our doors will open at 9:30 at each location, so if you want to come a little bit early to have coffee and fellowship with people, you're welcome to do that. Worship will start at 10 o'clock. Children will actually be a part of the worship and be with us while we sing, and then they will be dismissed during the sermon, and then they will remain with the children's ministry for about 30 minutes after we're done with worship, because during that time, the 30 minutes after worship, we're going to gather with the people in that location and immediately jump into a discussion about the sermon. If you've been a part of a community group, this is not new to you. This is what we do when we gather in community groups, is simply take the text that was preached on Sunday morning, maybe some notes that you took down, and then we discuss that and try to just dive a little bit deeper into it and think about how that applies to our lives on a daily basis. This is a really great opportunity for anybody who has not been a part of a community group to experience that. And my hope would be, honestly, that you would see the value of that, and that as we move into the next phase of our church and communal life, and probably restructure our community groups again, that you would jump into one of those groups. Well, I want you to be mindful and in a few ways of the people who are behind the scenes making things happen. And I just want to ask that you would be so thankful and appreciative for them, that when you see them and you find out that they've been doing that work, that you would extend your gratitude to them. There are things that have happened. There are things that are going to continue to happen over the next few days leading up to July 5th to get ready for our time of worship. Those people are working hard, and I want to say thank you if you're one of those people, and then I also want to ask everybody else to also extend that gratitude to them. We're also going to ask that you guys do a couple things when you come, and then we also want to let you know what you should expect when you come in regards to some of the measures we're going to take to minimize the spread of any kind of germs. We are going to ask that when you enter each home that you would wash your hands upon arrival. It's a small thing. It doesn't prevent everything. It doesn't solve all the problems, but we would like to respect the host homes by just eliminating any of the germs that have been on our hands and get rid of those as we're immediately entering the home. There will be sanitizer available to you. There will be packaged food that we would have for the kids and maybe even for the adults. We're gonna do a few of these small things to reduce a few of the points of spread. In addition to that, we're also going to ask that you just respect people and love people well. And when you see them for the first time, that you wouldn't just grab them if you haven't interacted with them over the past 3 months because you're just so excited. Would you first just say, "Hey, can I give you a hug?" Would you ask them, can I shake your hand? Can I give you a hug? This is just a small thing that we can do to make sure that we re-engage with people in an appropriate and respectful manner. You're probably only going to have to do this the first, maybe the second week as people trickle in based on vacations and stuff like that. But that's a great way to just respect people. And then once they've given you that permission that 1 week, then likely the next week you will have the permission to do that and you won't even need to ask. But the first couple weeks, make sure that you just respect people and ask that. Additionally, I need you to know that we are not going to require people to wear masks. We welcome anybody who would like to, anybody who feels more comfortable doing so. You are welcome to gather with us, and we would want you to gather with us. And if you feel more comfortable doing so in that fashion, then that's fantastic. We just want you to know that we are not going to mandate that for everybody else in the room. So that may really impact your choice to gather with us, and we completely understand that. Just know again that we're going to have our services live streamed, so you don't have to miss out on worship that is available to you. We're also not going to try to distance everybody in the house. There's really just not an ability to do that in such a confined space. So that's not going to be another measure that we're going to take. Again, that may impact some of your choices. We want you to know that we are paying attention to what's happening. We're not ignoring, we're not trying to be ignorant. We haven't stuck our head in the sand in any kind of way. We are definitely paying attention. I'm having conversations regularly. The elders meet every week. And when we meet every week, we talk about this. We make sure we're still on the same page about our plans moving forward. We are praying for these various things. We're asking the Lord for wisdom as your leaders. We're paying attention to the distant communication and information and also the things that are near. We're listening to what has been said and also what's not being said, what's being asked of us and what's not being asked of us. What the state officials or the national officials, state officials, and local officials are saying and not saying. And with all that, we believe that moving forward in this fashion at this time is perfectly reasonable. Now, again, that may not be what you feel comfortable with. So again, we're going to have our online worship available to you. In addition to that, we're also going to have an online Zoom group for community group for those who would like to still engage in a community group gathering. We've been doing our community groups via Zoom, but when we gather in these locations, if you gather in a live location, then that is when your community group will gather. So you won't actually have a a second and an additional time to gather as a community group if you're gathering in one of the live locations. But if you don't feel comfortable gathering in one of those locations, or you happen to serve on a Sunday morning in a way that prevents you from being able to listen to the sermon and engage in conversation, Cole Edwards, one of our elders, is going to host a Zoom community group. If you want more information about that, you can email him at cole.e@therockheath.org, cole.e@therockheath.org, or you can email connect@therockheath.org. Either way, we will be able to respond and get you information about when that's going to happen, how that's going to happen, and get you on a list so that you get the email with the link to be able to connect with that. But that'll be available to those who would feel more comfortable still maintaining a distance and doing things via the internet. That's going to be available to you guys. Well, guys, I could drone on and I love you guys, and so I in a way, like, this has become the way that I get to be with you guys, and so I'd love to continue to be with you guys, but we got to go, and I know you got other things to do, but I just want to lastly ask that you would continue to extend grace, that you would continue to extend love, that you would choose unity over and above your preferences, that our preferences wouldn't become some weapon against one another, but that we would just lovingly and respectfully engage with one another, even in our differences. That's the body of Christ. We are never going to see everything eye to eye. You get two people in a room and you won't agree on everything. So that's not our goal, is agreement. Our goal is unity, and unity doesn't always require agreement. It requires a loving respect and submission to one another. And so that's what we're asking for, is that you would just love and respect one another and submit to one another in that love and respect. But as we continue to navigate these waters and move forward, just hold this open-handedly with us. Right? Hold it open-handedly with us. We don't know what's going to happen in 5 days. We don't know what's going to happen in the next hour, right? And so things may have to change, and they may have to change quickly, as they did back in March. And we just saw the progression unfold very quickly. Well, we want to let you know that we're going to be mindful of that. And if things need to change quickly, then we will let you know. We will communicate that to you. So keep your ears peeled, open your emails, check your weekly newsletter, open those texts that come to you, be engaged with our Facebook page if you're not there, because those are ways that we can communicate with you and let you know what's happening. But man, I am so excited to be able to help you guys get back together in community. I won't be able to be at every location, but at least not physically, but in spirit, and obviously on a TV screen, I'll be able to be there with you guys, and we just look forward to the opportunity to see people worship together again, to grow together, to fellowship, to rub shoulders, to be the family, the church, to be the Rock Community Church here in this part of Texas. And so love you guys, and hope that you are blessed by this news, and I know that you'll be blessed as we gather again together soon.